Part 1: Shadows of the Celestial Sea. There is a certain stillness in the void that makes you feel both insignificant and invincible. It's that feeling you get standing in front of a mountain, knowing you could never conquer it, yet feeling an urge to try. That's what I felt, staring at the looming anomaly in the distance, a swirling maelstrom of cosmic dust and sapphire light, unimaginably beautiful and terrifying. The Celestial Sea, they called it, a galactic enigma. I leaned back in the pilot seat of the Starstrider, my home and my burden, a bulky old freighter with a heart as stubborn as its captain. The ship creaked like an ancient cathedral-esque beast every time I pushed her past her limits. I often joked she was held together more by my stubborn will than by engineering, but right now it was no joke. Engines rumbled beneath the deck like an old man clearing his throat, readying themselves for the uncharted depths of the anomaly. The crew, a quirky ensemble as mismatched as the ship, were scattered about, doing whatever they did when they weren't snarking at each other. First, there's Arya, my navigator, with a knack for sarcasm sharper than her sense of direction. She sat hunched over the console, her fingers a blur. "Are we really going through with this, Captain? Because the last time we flirted with danger, I distinctly remember almost getting married to a sentient fungus." "Just keep us on course, Arya," I chuckled. "I'd rather your marital status remain unmycological." Then there was Jax, my engineer, a giant of a man with a heart bigger than his brain sometimes, but who could fix anything. Currently, he was elbow-deep in wires, muttering to himself in his usual upbeat way that managed to make impending doom sound like a minor inconvenience. "Cap'n, I've rerouted the power, but she might still pop like a cork if we push too hard." "Well, Jax, just make sure we're not the cork." And then there was my personal favorite crew member, Scrag, a non-humanoid alien species known as the Murovian. Resembling a cross between a moss-covered boulder and a walking tree, with eyes that glowed like embers through his bark-like skin, Scrag was a mystery even to himself. He communicated through vibrations and low rumbles, something my implant fortunately translated, albeit with some eccentric seasoning. "Captain, anomaly ahead. High probability of catastrophic outcome," Scrag intoned with all the urgency of a glacier. "Well, that's comforting, Scrag. Remind me to take you to Vegas sometime." The anomaly loomed closer, all-consuming. My heart thudded in my chest. This was no ordinary mission. Somewhere beyond the veil of swirling energy lay the legacy of a long-lost civilization, the Sirens, masters of technology who'd vanished without a trace. My heart skipped. A chance to solve their mystery and maybe pick up a few relics to pay off my debts. Our approach to the anomaly felt like an eternity compressed into seconds, time bending in ways the mind couldn't fully grasp. The ship groaned as we broke through the outer rings, a sensation like slipping between two worlds. The universe stretched around us, colors unfamiliar and tactile. Then the alarm screamed, yanking me back into the present. Arya's face was pale, fingers dancing over the console. "We've got company, ships just appeared on the radar. They're not broadcasting ID signals." "Pirates, damn it," or worse, opportunistic scavengers, drawn by the anomaly like vultures to the scent of death. I slammed my fist into the armrest. "All hands, prepare for boarding defense. Jax, get the shields up. Arya, I need evasive maneuvers. Scrag, anything you can do with those vines of yours now would be a good time." The Starstrider shuddered, struggling against its own inertia and the approaching threat. Through the viewport, I saw ships, sleek, serrated hulls glinting menacingly as they flanked us. They looked like predatory fish in a deep-sea hunt. I'd seen their type before: starfighters, fast and deadly. A voice crackled over the comms, cold and taunting. "Surrender your ship and your cargo. Entering the Celestial Sea comes with a toll." "Sorry, toll booths are closed for repairs," I quipped back, trying to keep the fear from my voice. "We'll be on our way now." The first shot rocked the Starstrider. I heard glass shatter somewhere behind me. Arya cursed under her breath, swerving the ship in a volatile dance. Jax frantically rerouted power, the ship's guts a symphony of chaos. Scragg's low rumble reverberated through the ship, resonating against the hull as tendrils of energy lashed out. We shot back, the Starstrider firing in defiance, engines roaring like a caged beast. The dance of evasive maneuvers and return fire felt like an eternity sketched in fire and metal. Each near miss was both a reprieve and an agitating reminder of how close we were to becoming space debris. A sudden idea struck me, reckless and barely formed. Arya PL. Odd a course toward the anomaly's core, they might back off. She hesitated, eyes widening. That's insane, we don't know what's in there. Exactly why they might hesitate to follow. Do it. Arya's hands blurred over the controls. With a gut-wrenching lurch, we dived deeper into the anomaly. The pursuing ship slowed, uncertain but still too close for comfort. We spiraled deeper, the pulsating energy of the celestial sea wrapping around us, a kaleidoscope of swirling azure. Captain, proximity alert. Unknown structure ahead, Scrag intoned, surprisingly calm. Ahead of us, iridescent within the swirling chaos, emerged a massive alien megastructure, a cathedral of impossible geometry and light. It glittered like a frozen storm, an ancient relic hanging in the abyss, untouched and waiting. The pursuing ships hovered at the boundary, reluctant to follow us into the clutches of the Cyrene monument. Their threat was momentarily eclipsed by the grandeur before us. And there, within the heart of the enigma, lay my answers, perhaps to questions I hadn't dared ask. I took a deep breath, knowing this was just the beginning. Behind us, the anomaly's entrance sealed like a closing eye. Ahead, the unyielding doorways of the Cyrene awaited us, secrets shimmering in the depths. This expedition had just turned from a treasure hunt into a race for survival. No turning back now. We were all in. Part 2, Echoes of the Cyrene. The Starstrider drifted closer to the Cyrene structure, the anomaly's kaleidoscope of light reflecting off its weathered hull. I could feel the tension in the air, thick as the swirling energies around us. My heart thumped with the rhythm of the universe, or maybe just with the dread of the unknown. Arya's voice cut through the silence, her usual sarcasm laced with genuine awe. Captain, are you seeing this? It's like someone carved their dreams into stone and let them drift in the cosmos. Jax, still nursing a stubborn circuit board, muttered, "Never seen anything like it. Defies all logic of material decay. This place should have crumbled centuries ago." "Logic doesn't have much weight here, Jax," I replied, eyes fixed on the mesmerizing architecture. "This is the Cyrene. They never played by the rules of physics we know." Scrag hummed a low, resonant note, the closest thing he had to laughter. "Cyrene tech has always puzzled Murovian scholars. Perhaps you should not touch anything, just a suggestion." Noted, Scrag. I'll try to keep my curiosity in check. We nudged into a cavernous docking bay, an aperture opening like a yawning mouth in the structure's flank. Lights flickered on as we settled, triggered by our presence, revealing a space large enough to harbor a fleet. Dust hung in the air, tangible memories of the ages past. The airlock hissed as I led the crew into the void, steel beneath our feet ringing with our trespass. The atmosphere was breathable, a minor miracle in itself, though tinged with a metallic tang that clung to the back of the throat. Our footsteps echoed, a reminder of our fragility amidst such grandeur. Arya's eyes scanned everything, wide-eyed and devouring. "This place is a work of art. You think they left any souvenirs for curious visitors?" "Wouldn't that be nice?" I murmured. "But let's keep an eye out for anything unusual." Jax pointed toward a series of glyphs running along the walls, glowing faintly. Cap'n, these look like navigational markers. If we can decipher them, they might lead us to whatever the siren were hiding. I nodded, feeling an electric thrill of discovery mixed with apprehension. Arya, map out the glyphs. Jax, see if you can interface with any tech. Scrag, you and I will scout ahead. Keep your comms open. As we pushed deeper into the structure, the corridors twisted and turned in maddening spirals, defying conventional architecture. It felt like walking through the dreams of a mad artist, each chamber more fantastical than the last. The air thrummed with the energy of forgotten technology reawakening, echoing with whispers of an alien past. Scrag rumbled beside me, his form casting long shadows on the iridescent walls. Captain, I sense a presence, not hostile but aware. We may not be alone. A shiver raced down my spine. The siren had vanished, but their legacy remained, alive in some form. As we rounded a corner, the corridor opened into a vast hall, a cathedral of light and sound. At its heart floated a massive crystalline structure, pulsating with a rhythm that resonated through the floor, the siren core. It was breathtaking, a living tapestry of technology and art, its facets shifting in intricate patterns. I stepped closer, drawn by its beauty and enigma. My hand hovered, instinctively reaching, when a sudden rush of data flooded my mind, visions, sounds, memories. I staggered back, clutching my head. The core was alive, communicating in ways I couldn't comprehend. Scrag steadied me, his voice a calming rumble. The core speaks. It knows we are here, Captain. I took a shaky breath, reeling from the experience. It's like touching the soul of the universe. We need to tread carefully. This thing could be our salvation or our doom. Meanwhile, Arya's voice crackled over the comm. Captain, we've encountered something interesting. I think you need to see this. We retraced our steps, the corridors now familiar, yet still unnervingly alive. Arya and Jack stood before a portal, its edges lined with pulsating glyphs, a door to another part of the structure, and possibly to the heart of the mystery. Jax's eyes gleamed with excitement. This door wasn't open before. Whatever you did, Cap'n, it triggered something. Seems our presence has sparked some interest, I replied, eyeing the door. All right, let's see what the siren are hiding. The door slid open silently, revealing a chamber bathed in azure light. At its center, 9 obelisks stood in a circle, humbling in their silent testimony. Each one bore carvings of alien life forms, caught in a dance of cosmic unity. But what caught my eye was the 10th obelisk, lying shattered on the floor, its pieces strewn like a fallen star. Arya knelt beside the fragments, her fingers tracing the jagged edges. Looks like someone or something didn't want this piece of the puzzle to be complete. Jack scanned the remnants with his handheld device. Frowning, it's like a graveyard of information. Unless we can piece it together, the whole story stays buried. My mind raced. The siren's secrets, their disappearance, all wrapped in layers of caution and concealment. This chamber held the key, but the lock was broken. Scrag's eyes glowed softly, his voice a melodic hum. This is not the end. The siren left more than one path. We are merely at the beginning. Then we had better start walking, I said, determination stealing my voice. We need to find out why this place has been kept hidden and what it means for us. As we turned to leave, the air vibrated with a low, haunting melody, as if the structure sang of old sorrows and new beginnings. We had awakened something within the siren legacy, but whether it was a guardian or a curse remained to be seen. The stakes had risen, the mystery deepened, and as we stepped back onto the Starstrider, the weight of our discovery sat heavily on our shoulders. The siren's echoes followed us, whispering promises and threats in equal measure. We were in the heart of a game older and more profound than any we'd played before, and there was no turning back. Part 3: The Dance of Forgotten Stars. The Starstrider hummed beneath my feet, a gentle beast renewed by our voyage into the unknown. We left the sapphire glow of the siren structure behind, but its mysteries clung to us like stardust, a persistent whisper at the edge of consciousness. As we set course further into the celestial sea, I felt a stirring deep within, an insistent call to grasp the truth buried within this forgotten corner of the cosmos. Jax's voice crackled over the comms, a welcome break from the solitude of my thoughts. "Cap'n, systems are green across the board. Whatever burst of energy we tapped into, it's revitalized our old girl here. She's running smoother than she has in years." "That's the best news I've heard all day, Jax," I replied, smiling in spite of myself. "Keep her steady. We've got new coordinates to chart." Arya emerged from the nav station, eyes gleaming with unresolved questions. "Captain, I've been analyzing the celestial data from the core and matched it against known star charts. There's a sector on the fringes of the anomaly, long thought barren, but there's something hidden there, something the Siren were keen to keep secret." I studied the holomap she displayed, a cluster of stars shimmering like distant fireflies. Could be a vault of some kind, a library of their knowledge, or a trap, she interrupted, folding her arms. "We don't know what we're walking into, and frankly, I'm tired of surprises that could kill us." "That makes two of us," I admitted. "But the Siren didn't leave breadcrumbs for nothing. Let's find out what they're pointing us to." The journey to the sector was like sliding through a dream, the ship gliding along paths unseen and untold. The celestial sea, once turbulent, seemed serene, as if the Siren's presence had quelled its unrest. Yet there was tension in the air, an electric anticipation that had us all on edge. Scrag joined me on the bridge, his presence grounding and calm. "Captain, anomaly ahead. Reading suggests an artificial construct heavily shielded, not Siren but not human either." My curiosity piqued. I leaned forward, eyes scanning the viewport. Emerging from the cosmic haze was a station of sorts, its design unlike any I'd ever seen. It was an intricate lattice of bronze and obsidian, angular yet fluid, like a spider's web spun by a celestial weaver. The station pulsed with a strange energy, as if alive in its own right. Arya's voice was sharp, cutting through the awe. "Captains, we're not alone. Ships inbound, reading as human but rogue, possibly scavengers or worse. Pirates or mercenaries, they were drawn to this place like moths to a flame. With the station's secrets tantalizingly close, we couldn't afford a confrontation. Jax, bring the shields up. Arya, plot evasive maneuvers. Scrag, see if you can communicate with the station. Maybe we can find a friend instead of a foe." "Attempting contact," Scrag replied, his tones vibrating through the ship. The Starstrider wove a perilous dance as rogue ships closed in, their intentions clear and hostile. They darted like predatory birds, weapons bristling with menace. I steeled myself, ready for another game of life and death, when a sudden message flickered across all frequencies. "Unknown vessels, this is Station Kronos. You are trespassing in restricted space. Cease hostilities and state your intentions." Arya's eyes widened. "It's the station, they're responding." "Quick reply. Tell them we're seeking knowledge, not conflict." Just as the rogue ships prepared to engage, the station pulsed, and a wave of energy blasted outward, a force field of shimmering light that pushed them back with an almost gentle insistence. They scattered, repelled by the station's defensive embrace. I exhaled, tension bleeding into relief. "Station Kronos, this is Captain Ethan of the Starstrider. We're explorers seeking knowledge of the Siren. We mean no harm." There was a pause, then the voice returned, enigmatic and curious. "Welcome, Starstrider. Your intentions are noted. You may dock for further discourse." We eased into the docking bay, the interior a blend of ancient grandeur and technological grace. I could feel the station's hum, a living entity attuned to the universe's symphony. As we disembarked, an avatar greeted us, a projection of light and form, humanoid but distinctly alien, features fluid like mercury. "Greetings, travelers. I am Archivist Ethra. This station is a repository of knowledge, a sanctuary for lost civilizations. What do you seek?" "The truth," I replied, with more conviction than I felt. "About the siren, about this anomaly, and why it's hidden from the universe." Ethra's gaze, both knowing and inscrutable, flickered over us. "The siren's legacy is vast. They chose concealment to protect what they cherished. Perhaps the secrets lie in understanding their fears and hopes." "Understanding," I echoed, glancing at my crew, each of us driven by our own questions. "We're here to learn." "Then follow," Ethra intoned, leading us deeper into the station. The halls were lined with holographic displays, shimmering vignettes of alien worlds and histories, each a fragment of a civilization's soul. I felt the weight of countless stories, each a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. As we moved through the archives, something shifted within me, a dawning realization that we were part of something greater. The universe was a dance of forgotten stars, echoes of lives long past and futures yet unwritten. And we were the keepers, the storytellers of our own journey. Ahead, Ethra paused before a massive door, its surface inscribed with intricate glyphs. "Behind these doors is the heart of the siren legacy. Enter, and may understanding guide your path." As the door slid open, revealing a chamber bathed in ethereal light, I knew the stakes had reached a new zenith. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but it was also rich with the promise of revelation. We stepped forward, each footfall echoing with the promise of discovery, ready to unravel the dance of forgotten stars. Part 4: The Heart of Ethra. The chamber unfolded before us like the petals of an alien flower, revealing its secrets with a grace that belied its age. I stepped cautiously into the heart of the siren legacy, the ethereal light playing across my skin like a living thing. The room hummed with an energy that resonated through my bones, a symphony of whispers just beyond the edge of hearing. Ethra hovered near the doorway, the avatar's presence both a comfort and a reminder of the station's ancient watchfulness. "This is the central archive," she announced, her voice a melody woven from light and memory. "Here, the sirens stored the essence of their civilization, their hopes, their fears." My crew spread out, each drawn to different facets of the chamber's wonders. Holographic displays flickered to life at our presence, filling the air with phantasmal images of the siren, a tall, elegant species with elongated limbs and eyes that glimmered like stardust. They moved with a fluid grace, speaking in harmonious tones that resonated with meaning. Jax was instantly engrossed in the technological displays, his fingers dancing over the controls as he attempted to decode the complex systems. "This is incredible," he breathed, eyes wide with awe. "Their tech is light years ahead of anything I've seen, and yet they left it all behind." Arya wandered among the archives, her expression a mix of wonder and determination. "It's like walking through a library of the universe," she murmured, eyes darting between the cascading streams of data. "But why hide it all away?" "To protect it," I answered, though my voice held more questions than certainty. "Or perhaps to protect others. Whatever they feared, it drove them to conceal their legacy." Scragg stood beside me, absorbing the atmosphere with his unique sensitivity. "This place is alive with knowledge," he rumbled. The siren wished to preserve their essence, their legacy intertwined with the cosmos. As we explored, the chamber seemed to respond to our presence, its shimmering walls shifting like the pages of a storybook. Each step unraveled new scenes, revealing the siren's triumphs and tragedies, their rise and fall told in spectral brilliance. I found myself drawn to a solitary console, its surface smooth and inviting. As I placed my hand upon it, the console flared to life, projecting a detailed star map that encompassed the room. Constellations spun in intricate patterns, each point of light a beacon of the siren's journey across the stars. And there, at the map's center, lay the celestial sea, a nexus of lines and energy that pulsed with a living warmth. It was the heart of their empire, the locus of their power and their downfall. Arya joined me, her gaze tracing the map's luminous pathways. "This must be why they stayed hidden," she said, voice hushed with realization. The celestial sea was their cradle and their tomb. Ithra's form shimmered beside us, her presence both guiding and enigmatic. The siren's final act was one of sacrifice, to protect the universe from their greatest creation, a power they could no longer control. My mind raced, images flashing of the anomaly's swirling depths. "The core," I whispered, the pieces clicking into place. "It's more than a relic, it's a conduit, a focal point of their power, and it's still active." Jax looked up from his work, eyes alight with understanding. If the core is a conduit, it could explain the energy surge that revitalized the Starstrider. It's still connected to something. There was a moment of silence, the enormity of our discovery settling over us like a shroud. The siren's legacy was a gift and a warning, a reminder of the delicate balance between creation and destruction. "We need to find a way to stabilize it," I said, resolve hardening within me. "If the core is still active, it holds a power that could reshape the stars, for better or worse." Ithra nodded, her expression a blend of respect and urgency. "The choice is yours, travelers, to continue the siren's path or forge your own. But be aware, others will seek this power, for not all are guided by wisdom." The weight of her words settled heavily, a reminder of the rogue ships lurking beyond the station's protective embrace. Time was against us, the cosmos a chessboard where every move carried the weight of destiny. With newfound determination, we returned to the Starstrider, our minds brimming with knowledge and hearts afire with purpose. The station's mysteries had breathed life into forgotten dreams, illuminating paths both perilous and profound. As we prepared to depart, the station's doors closing behind us with a resounding finality, I felt the presence of the siren as a silent companion. Their legacy was ours to shepherd, a beacon in the vast darkness of the unknown. The journey ahead was uncertain, yet the stars seemed to burn brighter, their light a promise of hope and discovery. And as the Starstrider plunged into the celestial sea once more, I knew that we had become part of a story far greater than our own, a dance of forgotten stars, echoing across eternity. Part 5. Beneath Starlight Under Shadows. The Starstrider traversed the shimmering currents of the celestial sea with a renewed sense of urgency. Every flicker of light that passed our viewports felt like a star pointing the way forward, yet the mysteries we carried weighed heavily on my shoulders. The siren legacy, now partially unraveled, had entwined our destinies with threads finer and more perilous than I had anticipated. We soon found ourselves surrounded by the gravity wells and cosmic whispers of a nebula, a region known in hesitant whispers as the Veil of Echoes. It was where the whispers of the siren had pointed us, a place that promised answers, or perhaps more riddles. Arya worked tirelessly, scanning the nebula's turbulent shapes. "Captain, this region is dense with exotic particles. It's a wonder any signal gets through here at all. If there's something hidden, it'd be the perfect place." "Precisely why we're here," I replied, watching the swirling colors of the nebula warp around us like a living tapestry. "The heart of the mystery is always buried deep. Jax, status on the engines and shields." Jax's voice crackled with determined energy from engineering. "Engines are steady, but the shields are strained. The interference here is off the charts, but the all-girls holding together." Scragg's presence was a calm anchor amidst the chaos. "Captain, do you sense it? A presence, subtle yet vast, like a waking giant beneath the veil." I nodded, feeling the undercurrent of his words in my bones. This place thrummed with a living energy, ancient and aware. The siren had left their mark, and we were not the first to tread this path. Suddenly, a burst of static laced our comms, an unfamiliar voice, distorted yet urgent. "Starstrider, this is the Argonaut. We need assistance. Engines compromised. Life support failing. Repeat, we are stranded." An SOS in this unforgiving place was not something I could ignore. "Argonaut, this is Captain Ethan of the Starstrider. Received your transmission. Sending coordinates." Arya glanced at me, her brow furrowed with concern. "Captain, you sure about this? Could be a trap." "Possibly," I conceded. "But if they're in trouble, we can't just leave them to drift and die." As we shifted course, guiding the Starstrider through the nebula's embrace, the sight of the Argonaut emerged like a ghost, an Explorer-class frigate, battered and clinging to life. Its hull was marred by impact scars, and a trail of coolant shimmered like a comet's tail in the starlight. Once docked, I led a small team aboard, leaving Scrag to mediate between the two ship systems. The interior of the Argonaut was a symphony of flickering lights and groaning metal. We were met by a lone figure, a woman, her face streaked with soot and resolve. "I'm Captain Lyra," she introduced, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. "Thanks for coming. We got caught in a particle storm and it knocked out half our systems." "Happy to help," I replied, extending a hand. "Let's see what we can do to get you running again." As Jax and Arya dispersed to lend their expertise, Lyra and I assessed the situation. Her crew were weary, shadows beneath their eyes, but they moved with purpose, a testament to their resilience. "So what brought you out here?" I asked, my curiosity piqued by their presence. Lyra hesitated, glancing at the nebula beyond the viewport. "We were gathering data on the Veil. There are rumors of something ancient here, a relic of the siren, perhaps." Her words mirrored my own mission, and suddenly the threads of our fate seemed to intertwine. "We're on a similar trail," I admitted, intrigued by the coincidence or perhaps the guiding hand of destiny. Our conversation was interrupted by a proximity alert, the shrill alarm cutting through the dim light. Arya's voice buzzed over the comms, filled with urgency. "Captain, multiple bogies emerging from the nebula. They're moving fast, unidentified vessels." The pit of my stomach dropped. An ambush here among the stars in a place steeped in mystery. Lyra's eyes met mine, understanding flashing between us. Survival first, questions later. "All right, everyone," I called, rallying both crews. "Looks like we've got company. Lyra, let's see if your ship can move. Arya, Jax, Scrag, we need to repel boarders and buy time." The ship shuddered as the first shots resonated through its hull, the enemy vessels darting like malevolent wraiths. We scrambled to our stations, the Argonaut's beleaguered systems coming to life under our frantic ministrations. The battle was a blur, the Argonaut and Starstrider moving as one against the encroaching threat. The enemy ships were sleek, predatory, and unknown, moving with the grace of shadows. Yet against the odds, the combined resolve of our crews held fast. Scragg's voice resonated through the chaos, a steady balm against the storm. "Captain, I have synchronized the defenses. We will H. Hold." The clash stretched on, a dance of light and darkness amid the stars. And just as victory seemed within grasp, a surge of energy erupted from the nebula, a beacon of pure light that froze the battlefield in awe. It pulsed, a signal of profound intensity that reverberated through every atom of our being. The ships around us scattered, retreating into the depths from whence they came, leaving only silence and the distant echoes of the veil. Catching my breath, I turned to Lyra, who watched the display with the same mixture of dread and wonder I felt. "A warning or a welcome?" I mused aloud. "Perhaps both," she replied, her voice filled with the weight of the unknown. The standoff had ended, but the mystery endured, the veil of echoes guarding its secret still. Yet beneath the stars, in the quiet that followed, I felt a shift within me, a certainty that our journey was far from over. The dance of forgotten stars was just beginning to play its true tune. Part 6: The Waking Silence. In the aftermath of the battle, the veil of echoes settled into a deceptive calm, with the nebula's vivid tendrils weaving a cosmic tapestry around us. The Argonaut and the Starstrider were nestled together, twin silhouettes against the star-speckled ether, momentarily embracing the quietude we had fought so hard for. Captain Lyra and I stood in the chill of the Argonaut's bridge, our breath mingling with the faint mist of coolant that lingered in the air. The ship's systems hummed with a tentative return to life, revitalized by the combined efforts of our teams. Arya appeared beside us, her expression a mixture of relief and curiosity. "Looks like our uninvited guests got spooked by the light show, but they'll be back. Whatever that was, it's got to be important." Lyra nodded, her gaze fixed on the nebula's swirling depths. "There's something here, something the siren wanted hidden or protected. That signal was like a guardian's call." In that moment, the scope of our mission expanded beyond our individual quests. We were no longer just explorers or scavengers. We had become custodians of a story yet to be told. Jax clambered up from the engineering deck, wiping his hands on his shirt. "Engines are stable for now, but if we're gonna dive deeper, we'll need both ships at full capacity." "I agree," I said, catching Lyra's eye. "We're in this together now. Let's find out what's hidden beneath the veil." With Lyra's assent, we began our joint expedition into the heart of the nebula. The Argonaut and Starstrider moved in unison, the interplay of their paths weaving a new narrative in the stardust. As the ships penetrated further, the nebula's vibrant hues deepened, and the air grew thick with anticipation. The coordinates from the siren archives led us to a region where the light was strangled by shadows, a window to something monumental concealed by the cosmic dance. Scrag, ever attuned to the universe's subtleties, resonated with a low, steady hum. "Captain, I sense a presence vast and awakening. The siren left a sentinel, and it knows we are here." A chill swept through me, a shiver of awe and respect for the ancient power that lay beneath silence. Whatever we're approaching, it's been waiting for us, maybe longer than we dare imagine. Then, as if on cue, a massive structure emerged from the nebula's embrace, a colossal ring, its dark surface etched with glyphs that glowed faintly, like embers stirred by a whispering breeze. It was a gateway, but to what lay beyond we could only guess. The Starstrider's sensors pinged with new data, and Arya's voice crackled with excitement. "This is it, Captain, the siren's last bastion. The readings are off the scale. It's like a vault of pure energy." Lyra's eyes were wide, reflecting the ring's ancient light. A nexus, it's drawing power from the nebula like a heartbeat. We were on the brink of revelation, the air charged with the weight of possibilities. I glanced at Lyra, my decision mirrored in her resolute expression. Our paths had converged on this axis of past and future, where choices would echo across time. Together we initiated the approach sequence, the ships aligning with the ring's intricate markings. As we drew closer, the glyphs flared brighter, responding to our presence with a crescendo of radiance. The ring pulsed with life, awakening from centuries of slumber. Then, without warning, the energy surged, and the ring opened, a portal of light that beckoned us into its depths. It was an invitation and a challenge, a threshold beyond which lay the culmination of the Sirene's legacy. "Prepare for entry," I instructed, my voice steady despite the adrenaline that spiked beneath my skin. "We're stepping into the unknown." The transition was seamless yet profound, a sensation of movement beyond physical comprehension. We crossed the threshold, the universe folding around us like a cosmic embrace. Inside, the void gave way to a realm of light and shadow, a space that defied logic and yet felt intrinsically right. The Sirene had crafted this sanctuary with purpose, and its story whispered through the fabric of reality. As we drifted deeper, the true nature of our discovery began to unfold, a lattice of energy and memory, where time was both fluid and fixed. The Sirene's greatest creation, a repository of knowledge and power, awaited our understanding. And in that moment, with the stars as our witnesses, we realized the magnitude of our journey. We were not just explorers of the cosmos, but partakers in the eternal dance of civilizations, writing the next chapter of humanity's story amid the echoes of the forgotten stars. Part 7: The Nexus Unbound. The light of the portal swallowed us whole, a dazzling kaleidoscope that seemed to stretch infinity into a single breath. My senses flickered between awe and vigilance, every nerve taut as we crossed the threshold into the Sirene's final sanctum. The space beyond the portal was vast and luminous, a cathedral of stars suspended in an endless void. Structures of crystalline light floated around us, each pulsating in rhythm with a cosmic heartbeat that resonated through the hull of the Starstrider. The Argonaut followed closely, its presence a steady reminder of our alliance forged in the fires of fate. Lyra's voice crackled over the comms, laced with an awe that mirrored my own. "It's like we've stepped into the Sirene's soul. Everything here is alive, aware." We drifted deeper into the Nexus, the ambient light playing across our vessels in shimmering waves. Each shift in the glow felt like a new chapter being unfurled, the silent narrative of a civilization long vanished, yet eternally present. Arya was at the sensors, her fingers dancing over the controls with a dexterity born of both curiosity and urgency. "Captain, I'm picking up something incredible. It's as if this entire structure is a living archive. The energy here is unlike anything recorded." Jax chimed in, his voice a blend of excitement and disbelief. "And it's not just energy, Captain. The very fabric of this place is a lattice of compressed data. We're literally walking through history." A surge of exhilaration swept through me at their words, confirmation that our trek into the heart of the unknown had tangible purpose. We had found the Sirene's most profound secret, a sanctuary where their legacy was woven into the fabric of the cosmos itself. Then Scragg spoke, his tones resonant and deep like the echo of a distant star. "There are voices here, Captain, not words but emotions, echoes of those who came before." His observations settled around me like a shroud, a reminder that we were not alone in our journey. The Sirene had left their imprint not just in stone and light, but in the very essence of this place, a living testament to their dreams and fears. As we navigated through the Nexus, the crystalline structures began to respond to our presence, shifting and aligning in an intricate ballet of light and shadow. It was as if the siren welcomed us, willing to share their wisdom with those who dared to seek it. Suddenly, a pathway of light unfolded before us, leading deeper into the heart of the nexus. It beckoned with a silent promise, urging us to follow its luminescent trail. I glanced at Lyra through the viewport, our ships aligned as one in our shared quest. "This is it," I said over the comms, my voice steady but charged with the thrill of discovery. "We're being guided to the core. Let's see where this leads." We moved forward in tandem, the Starstrider and the Argonaut navigating the path of light with reverence. Each turn brought new wonders to behold, holographic vistas of the siren's past, suspended mid-motion like scenes from a dream. And then at the path's end we found it, the siren core, a sphere of pure energy, its surface a kaleidoscope of shifting symbols and colors. It floated serenely in the void, a sun within the nexus, radiating warmth and purpose. Arya's voice was hushed, filled with awe. "This is the center of it all, the siren's heart, their mind, everything." Jax moved to interface with the core, cautious yet eager. "If we can access its data, we might unlock the full history of the siren, their rise and their final act." I nodded, the weight of our discovery settling heavily on my shoulders. We were on the cusp of understanding, with the keys to history before us. Yet beneath the excitement, a thread of uncertainty wove through my thoughts. Scrag, ever perceptive, voiced what lay unspoken. "Power is seductive, Captain. What we learn here must be wielded with wisdom." His words were a sobering reminder of the responsibility we bore. The siren's gifts were immense, but their caution had cloaked them for a reason. We stood at the precipice of their legacy, tasked with carrying it forward, shaping the future with lessons from the past. As Jax initiated the data transfer, the core pulsed, enveloping us in a cascade of light and emotion. The history of the siren unfolded in our minds, a symphony of images and sensations, binding us to their fate and ours. And in that moment, beneath the starlit vaults of the Nexus, we understood both the depth of their legacy and the promise of our own. The path forward was fraught with challenges anew, yet it glittered with the hope of a future shaped by wisdom and courage. United with the Argonaut, we were no longer mere travelers. We had become stewards of the stars, guardians of a story etched in light. And as the Starstrider turned to leave the Nexus, the light of the siren guiding our way, I felt the echoes of their reams resound within us, a melody of forgotten stars, sung into being once more. Part 8: The Convergence of Fates. As the Starstrider and Argonaut emerged from the glow of the siren Nexus, the star-speckled tapestry of the galaxy unfolded before us. The cosmic ballet continued its eternal dance, oblivious to the secrets we had uncovered and the burdens we now carried. The siren's legacy had become a part of us, its light a guiding beacon in the vast night. We drifted in silence for a moment, the weight of our discovery settling around us like the cloak of a darkened sky. The reality of what lay ahead crystallized in my mind, like stars coalescing from the nebulae of uncertainty. This journey had transformed us, binding our fates to the currents of the universe. Lyra's voice, now familiar and resolute, crackled over the comms. "Ethan, we've glimpsed the heart of an ancient race. But how do we carry this legacy forward? There are those who would seek this power for their own ends." Her words struck a chord in my soul, a reminder of the looming specter of greed that forever shadowed discovery. We had seen the malevolent intent of the rogue ships, felt the prickle of their ambition against the purity of the siren's last act. "We protect it," I replied, the resolve in my voice firm as steel. "We share what we've learned wisely, ensuring it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. But first, we need to get out of here intact." Arya, ever the pragmatist, chimed in. "Captain, I've been monitoring subspace frequencies. There's chatter out there, rival factions are aware of the anomaly. It's only a matter of time before they converge here." "Then we have to move fast," I said, turning back to the controls. "Let's chart a course out of the Celestial Sea. Lyra, we'll keep in touch, we'll need each other in the days to come." As we engaged the engines, the gentle hum of the Starstrider felt like a faithful companion, a steadfast guardian on a journey fraught with peril and hope alike. The Argonaut held close, its silhouette a resolute shadow against the starlit expanse. Our departure was marred by a sense of urgency, the specter of pursuit gnawing at the edges of our consciousness. We weaved through the nebula's tendrils, the veil of the unknown lifting slowly to reveal the starlit expanse beyond. But as we approached the outer rim of the Celestial Sea, our sensors flared with warning. A blockade of ships hung in the void, an armada of shadows poised to intercept. "Looks like we've got company," Jax muttered, his fingers dancing over the console as he assessed the situation. "They're organized, Captain. This isn't just some ragtag group, could be a mercenary fleet." The tension in the cabin thickened, the prospect of conflict looming large. I locked eyes with Lyra across our shared comm screen, our determination mirroring one another's. "We can't let them get to the Nexus," she said, urgency lacing her every word. "If they learn of its power—" "We won't let that happen," I promised, the weight of my oath settling with a familiar gravity. "Arya, Jax, Scrag, prepare for evasive maneuvers. We're going to punch through." The Starstrider and Argonaut accelerated in unison, our ships moving as twin blades cleaving through the stellar night. The blockade responded, a swarm of vessels closing in with military precision. The ensuing battle was a symphony of light and sound, the void alive with the dance of energy and metal. Lasers streaked across the darkness, interstellar fireworks lighting the path of our escape. The Starstrider weaved through the chaos, every maneuver a testament to Arya's skill and Jax's engineering prowess. Scrag resonated from his station, his presence a calm island in the storm. "The odds are against us, but so is the universe when it conspires for the greater good." His words, cryptic yet reassuring, spurred me on. We had to make it not just for us, but for the legacy we now carried, a beacon against the encroaching shadows. As we neared the outer edge of the Celestial Sea, a plan formed in the crucible of urgency. "Lyra," I called over the comm, "if we split, we increase our chances. Draw them apart, confuse their ranks." "Agreed," she responded, her voice a steady flame. "Let's give them a chase they won't forget." With a final shared glance, we diverged, our ships parting ways in the tapestry of the cosmos. The armada scattered, its cohesion faltering as we danced apart, twin crescents in the eternal dark. The darkness embraced our flight, the navigation systems working overtime to keep us on course. My heart pounded with the rhythm of the stars, a primal beat that echoed through the corridors of space. And then, as swiftly as it had begun, the pursuit waned, the hostile forces dissolving into the vast unknown. The Starstrider emerged from the Celestial Sea, the stars a diamond-studded blanket of tranquility. In the quiet that followed, I exhaled deeply, the tension unraveling like threads in a tapestry. We had escaped, but our journey was far from over. The Sirene's legacy pulsed in the fabric of our beings, a song that would guide us through the nights to come. With the Argonaut's signal still a comforting presence on our sensors, we set course for the nearest safe haven, ready to begin the next chapter of our odyssey, a voyage forged in starlight, where fate and destiny converged beneath the canopy of a boundless sky. Part 9: The Fractured Constellation. We sailed away from the celestial sea, its shimmering expanse now a memory that lingered like stardust in our wake. The Starstrider felt like an extension of my very being, more alive now with the siren's secret thrumming quietly within its systems. As the stars swept past us, their distant light unfurling the map of the cosmos, I felt both exhilarated and apprehensive about the path we were carving. Arya broke the silence, her voice a soft bridge to the present. "Captain, incoming message from the Argonaut. Lyra's checking in." I nodded, grateful for the camaraderie that had formed amidst the chaos. Lyra's face appeared on the comms screen, framed by the soft glow of her ship's controls. "We made it through, Ethan. The blockade didn't follow for long. They must have underestimated us," she said, a hint of a smile in her eyes. "Let's hope that keeps them off our tail," I replied, relief evident in my voice. "We should meet up at the fringe station. It's remote enough to keep us hidden while we plan our next steps." "Agreed, we'll see you there soon. And Ethan, thank you for everything," Lyra added, her sincerity a warm tether across the vastness between us. As her transmission ended, I turned my focus to the journey ahead. The fringe station was a haven of sorts, a secluded outpost skirting the edges of what was charted and what remained a mystery. It was a place where secrets could be shared in whispered conversations over dubious drinks. Jax joined me on the bridge, the ever-present whir of machinery a comforting backdrop to our thoughts. "Cap'n, I've been reviewing the data we pulled from the Siren core. It's like holding a blueprint to the most advanced puzzle ever built." His excitement was infectious, tinged with a reverence for the knowledge we had unearthed. "If we can crack it," he continued, "we might unlock technology that could change everything we know about travel and communication." "Or it could open Pandora's box," I cautioned, aware of the fine line we were walking. "We need to tread carefully, Jax. There's power here we barely understand." As Jax returned to his analysis, Arya piloted us gracefully through the quiet lanes of space, the fringe station growing steadily on our scopes. It was a ragtag amalgamation, part trade hub, part sanctuary, a place where the lost and the curious alike gathered. We docked with a gentle thud, the station's artificial gravity a subtle shift beneath our feet. The crew disembarked, and the familiar scent of recycled air mingled with the metallic undertones of the station. The corridors hummed with a melange of voices and languages, each passerby a fragment of a larger story. Once inside, we found Lyra and her crew at a modest cantina, the ambient glow of the station casting a warm hue over their faces. There was an unspoken bond now, forged in the fires of shared trials. Over a round of station-brewed ale, Lyra leaned in, her expression thoughtful. "There's more to this than we initially grasped, Ethan. The Siren's warning about the core, about the power, it's connected to something bigger, isn't it?" I nodded, acknowledging the weight of her insight. The Siren were trying to protect something, perhaps from themselves, perhaps from the universe. But whatever it is, it's still active, and others will come for it. Scragg, silent until now, spoke with a gravity that drew our attention. "In the ancient tales of my people, there are legends of a great convergence, where paths of destiny cross and reshape the cosmos. The Siren's actions echo those myths." The table fell silent, each of us contemplating the enormity of our shared burden. The secrets we held were not just remnants of the past, but keys to the future, their potential a double-edged sword. "We need allies," I said, the realization dawning with clarity. "Others who can help us protect this knowledge, who understand the stakes, and we need to act before those with darker intentions make their move." Lyra nodded, her resolve matching mine. "There are factions out there that would stand with us, given the right cause. We'll reach out, make contact." Our path forward was set, a convergence of fates drawn together under a fractured constellation. The journey ahead promised new alliances and deeper mysteries, the lines between friend and foe blurring in the twilight of discovery. As we prepared to leave the cantina, the station's pulse a gentle reminder of life's resilience. I felt a sense of purpose, of unity, binding us together. We were more than travelers now. We were custodians of a legacy that whispered of hope and caution in equal measure. Together, we stepped back into the corridors of the fringe station, each footfall a promise to the stars, a promise to carry the light of the siren forward, navigating the shadows with wisdom and courage, ever mindful of the dance of forgotten stars that guided our way. Part 10: The Whispering Conclave. As the fringe station settled into its nocturnal rhythm, its corridors pulsing with subdued energy, we assembled in a secluded alcove carved from the station's ancient metal. The muted glow of distant stars filtered through the observation panels, casting ethereal patterns on the walls, a reminder that we were but small players in an infinite game. Our motley crew gathered around a holographic map, its light flickering across the faces of newfound allies. The faces belonged to individuals Lyra had reached out to, a diverse blend of traders, scholars, and former soldiers, drawn together not by the lure of profit, but by a shared understanding of the stakes. Each bore the mark of old wounds and whispered stories of the worlds they had traversed. Among them stood Kale, a grizzled ex-mercenary with eyes like tempered steel, and Ira, a scholar whose knowledge of ancient scripts rivaled any I'd known. Together, they formed the backbone of our burgeoning alliance, a whispering conclave bound by the need to protect the fragile balance of knowledge and power. As you all know, we've uncovered part of the siren's legacy, Lyra began, her voice steady yet charged with the magnitude of our undertaking. But there is more, a network of knowledge we must safeguard from those who would exploit it. Kale's gaze swept the room, his presence commanding a respectful silence. "I've seen power in the wrong hands," he said, voice gravelly with age and experience. "It never ends well. Whatever the siren left behind, it has to stay out of those hands." Ira nodded, her eyes filled with intellectual fire. "We need to understand what the siren feared. Their texts speak of an event, a celestial alignment that could unlock the core's full potential or unleash catastrophe." Her words painted the air with possibilities, each one a path branching into the unknown. The siren tapestry was rich with enigmas, its threads woven through the history of the stars. Arya stepped forward, her usual levity tempered by the gravity of our gathering. "We've got the data, but we need time to decipher it, time and minds that can crack the code before others do." "We're not just protecting a treasure trove," Jax added, his hands restless, filled with the urge to tinker, to understand. "We're protecting a future, one where knowledge isn't destroyed or hoarded but shared." Scragg's voice, deep and resonant, filled the space with an ancient calm. "This is a path of convergence, not just of destinies but of understanding. We stand at a threshold that echoes the myths of my people, where unity shapes the future." Our resolve crystallized in the quiet aftermath of his words, the weight of our responsibilities settling with a familiar gravity. We were bound by a mission that transcended individual desires, united by the promise of what remained undiscovered. As plans were laid, strategies formed beneath the watchful eyes of stars, a sense of purpose entwined us. We would seek out the remaining pieces of the siren puzzle, weaving a network of like-minded souls determined to safeguard what should not be lost or abused. The meeting dissolved into smaller conversations, voices low as they mapped routes and discussed potential allies. The fringe station's hum was a gentle backdrop, a cradle of whispers that would carry our intentions into the vast beyond. I found myself gazing out into the dark expanse, where stars blinked like distant beacons, each a reminder of the stories that had come before and those yet to be told. Lyra joined me, her presence a warm anchor against the cosmic chill. "Do you ever wonder why it's us?" she asked, her tone contemplative, eyes fixed on the celestial panorama. "Why we're the ones standing here with this knowledge at this moment?" "Every day," I confessed, the enormity of our task a weight I felt in my core. "Maybe we're just the ones who happened to be looking when the universe decided to reveal its secrets." She smiled, a flicker of light in the shadowed alcove. "Then let's make sure those secrets are kept safe for the right reasons." Her words echoed the promise I had made to myself, to my crew, and to the stars that watched over us. We were custodians of a legacy that transcended time, carriers of a torch lit by those who had come before. As the conclave dispersed, each member armed with knowledge and purpose, I felt the winds of fate shift around us. Our journey was far from over, but it was clearer now, the path illuminated by our shared resolve to protect the fragile balance of the cosmos. We returned to the Starstrider, the ship of familiar comfort, its corridors echoing with the quiet assurance of home. As we prepared to set course for the next leg of our journey, the stars loomed above, a tapestry of light and darkness, each point a promise, a story waiting to be written. And so, under the watchful gaze of distant suns, we embarked anew, a whispering clave against the vast silence, determined to dance with forgotten stars and weave a future bound by wisdom and unity.